There are cases where the timeline is clear, the evidence is logged, the reports are written, and yet nothing makes sense. Not the behavior, not the outcome, not the silence that follows. Tonight, we're looking at the cases that don't just go cold. They never fully come together in the first place. Let's talk about overview. In criminal investigations, we rely on structure, a timeline, evidence, witness statements, behavioral patterns. But what happens when those elements exist and still don't align? Segment 1, the gap problem. In many unsolved cases, there's a gap, a moment where we lose the victim, we lose the sequence, or we lose logic entirely. And that gap is where speculation begins. Segment 2, legal reality. In court, we don't get to fill gaps with intuition. We need evidence. We need corroboration, which things that align with the theory. Consistency, because without that, you don't have a case. You have a theory, and a theory is not enough to convict someone. It is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Segment 3, when behavior gets misread. This is where cases often go sideways. People say, that doesn't make sense. I would never do that. They must have been paranoid. But behavior under stress is not predictable. Segment 4, applying this to known case patterns. Without naming unsupported conclusions, we've seen patterns in cases like Jennifer Kesse, Lawson, Patricia Meehan, where timelines break, behavior gets judged, and the narrative forms without the full context. Segment 5, why these cases stay unsolved. Not because nothing happened, but because what happened can't be proven yet. And in law, that distinction matters. Let's talk about segment 6, the danger of false certainty. The public often fills in gaps with assumptions, bias, or simplified narratives. But certainty without evidence can distort the truth. So in closing, some cases remain open, not because they lack importance, but because they lack answers. And until those answers come, the story remains unfinished. If you want deeper breakdowns of individual cases, subscribe and follow, please, because some of these stories deserve to be told correctly. I'm an almost 18-year criminal defense attorney, which is why I do a true crime case as well as a psychology channel as well. Why do some cases never make sense? Oftentimes, this episode, as you know, has explored investigative gaps, behavioral misinterpretation, legal standards of proof, and why unresolved cases stay unresolved. Featuring patterns seen in cases like Jennifer Kesse, Lawson, and Patricia Meehan. Thank you for tuning in to Grace and Gavel, where truth meets compassion. And I hope that you'll come back and see me again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.